Righto, so we finished off our first run in Capitalism Lab. I had a lot of fun with it. I also had a lot of pain with it. The crunch time was grim on me for starting up my own bank. But since we completed that, I'm keen to start a new game. The whole deal about this one is we're going to be running with the RealWorld mod. It adds a huge amount of products to the game. I believe it is over 600 in total that will be in the game with this. Now, my initial impressions are it's adding too much into the game, but I actually want to play with it to see if I can actually stand by that feeling, because that's just an initial gut feeling. And once I've had my share of this, I'll make a call on whether I want my perfect run of this game to be done with RealWorld or not. So, here it is. We're RealWorld, 600 products, 900 customer. Yeah, it adds quite a lot of products to the game. It's of course mixed in with our chatters, so we're going to see familiar faces from the community and from games we've played in this. So get out of there and get into a new game. The premise of this is it's going to be all of us jam-packed into one city, so we're going to have to fight quite tightly for the demands of our audiences here. I don't want to spend too long going into all the settings here, there's so much that you can change here, but generally AI is getting expertise, AI is moderately aggressive, we're pretty much playing on level playing fields here. Stock market is on, alternative stock sim is on. I really wanted this on because it stops the economic state of your own cities from affecting the global stock market. It always bothered me that one or two of our cities, like Brasilia going into recession, hurting Apple's stock share just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Also, you can't do trading between companies and subsidiaries, so it might make it a little harder to be making easy money off the stock market. Not that the stock market is the main focus of this one. How many competitors? We'll keep it at 22. Let's jack it up a bit here. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything too exciting going on here. Oh yeah, minimal Seaports. I wanted to set it to 0, but 1 is as low as I can do it. And I'm going to load a single script here, nothing fancy, it's just one that makes sure that RGOs don't run out. It ends up being a bit of a scutter when you have to just close down and reopen them because they run out. So we're going to be the Silver Surplus, brilliant name, thought of it myself, because we're keeping our corporate logo with the Silver Surfer. Now let's go. No need for goals here. In fact, goals are a tricky thing to think about, so what are we doing here? What are we doing here in Grimsby? I did not choose it to be Grimsby, the game has just given me Grimsby. What I want to do is get market dominance in a bunch of goods. I don't know how many, but what I will be doing is going for a good, producing it, and then moving on to the next. And I'm going to have chat decide on that, because there are so many goods in this game. Let's have a look at that first. So what's RealWorld doing? Mostly what it's doing is adding in all of these products. Vanilla had a fraction of this, so what do we have? Software, lots of different software, including loads of different kinds of video games. Lots more alcoholic beverages. I think previously you had, wine and beer? Now you've got red wine and white wine. And what kind of white wine? Are you going to have Chardonnay, Pinot, or is it Pinot? I don't really drink wine, so I don't know how these words are said. I drink one kind of wine, and that's plum wine. That's very nice. What kind of whiskey do you want? Valentine's, Jack Daniels, or Chivas Regal? I might have a thing or two to say about Jack Daniels being in the middle there. What kind of vodka lemons do you want? Will you have some Absolute Citron? So many different kinds of apparel, many kinds of automobiles, bakery products, bar products. We can even ship out sandwiches and hot toast, which of course will need cheese. The cheese is what really gets me in this. With the RealWorld mod, cool, cheese is added as a good. But what kind of cheese? Would you like Emmental, cream cheese, goat milk, mozzarella? Parmigiano? Would you like Asiago, Grana Padano, Swiss Gruyere? I'm probably mincing all these words. What kind of mozzarella? Light mozzarella? Scamorza? Ricotta? What kind of goat's milk? Would you like to have some feta? Cream cheese, classic cream, cream supreme, Emmental, or cheddar? So how many different kinds of cheeses is that? Well, if we go into the cheese market, we'll try to dominate it. It's all made from pretty much the same stuff, milk and salt and water. Which brings me on to the next point. The map has a lot more resources on it. What do we have here? Zinc, silica, diamond, silver, gypsum. I don't know what gypsum is. Clay, iron ore, chemicals. There's so much out there. You don't stand a chance of instantly jumping in and grabbing market dominance of everything. The AI is going to be working me to the bone to keep me off of that. You gotta make a whiskey producer and a video streaming website for your reviews, Jake says Still Strand. That's a good idea, but we'll take it as it comes. To start off with, we've got 100 million. First thing I always like to do is buy out my own company. It means I have less money to play around with, and it stops me having to claw it back later on because I'm expecting to go to the moon rather quickly. So, how's this done again? Oh yeah, public shareholders, buy. If I can just hold that down and get it all. There we go, yeah. Really tanked the money I had there, but it's probably for the better. We're going to look into the companies that are on the map soon enough, but the global stock market, I think, has even more. Oh god, that's a lot of them going on here. Abbott, Advanced, Air France, Alette, Ultra, American, Natal, Altria. I haven't heard of most of these places. Or, well, they're not places, are they? They're companies. Have I heard of anything? Oh, I know ExxonMobil. Everyone knows ExxonMobil. Harley Davidson. Yeah, motorbikes. Unreliable motorbikes. Hyundai. Don't they make the cars? Insurance Australia. For all I know, we have people in chat that are professionally involved in some of these companies. Is that Pixar? Christ, okay, who's making the big money right now? Banca, Carnival, Freeport. Well, good for Old Man Freeport. Anyway, we probably won't be bouncing around with those until we have insurance set up, and God knows if we even will. I can see half the playthrough being gaming the stock market already. Now I'm gonna hold off on that for a wee bit, I think. There's no bonds in existence. How bizarre. Right, somebody was asking some product questions. It was magazines, I think. What kind of did they ask what kind of magazines? Where are the magazines? I don't see magazines. Maybe I misread the question entirely. Stop it, Jake. You're getting me excited, says Pandy. Pandy, you run with RealWorld Mod, and you can't go back. We'll see if I'm the same way after this one. Books and magazines. Good call there. So we have books, we have comics, we have magazines, we have newspapers. We have local newspapers, sports newspapers, business newspapers, TV magazines, sports magazines, cooking magazines, travel magazines, fashion magazines, computer magazines, business magazines, Western comic, manga. Okay, we can have anime. There we go. That answers someone's question. And yeah, manga is it's just on par with Western comics. Damnation. And then books themselves are fantasy, travel, and dictionaries. I don't know why these could have different markets. Yeah, end goal detected. What? We'll have chat come up with some goals for us, I think, then, as we go along. I'm not going to do all of these goods. We'll try and save that for the perfect run, but we'll certainly... this is certainly going to be a campaign that is more focused on production and retail of goods, because one of the downsides of the previous run is, after 4 years, I kind of gave up on that because I had to keep my bank alive, barely. Can we produce body pillows? Pillows should be somewhere, right? Is there something like comfort or bedding, or maybe it's under apparel? Baby clothes, bathrobes, blazers, boxer shorts, baseball caps, woman dress, elegant evening or ceremonial. Can you put De Fuhrer on manga production? We don't know if the De Fuhrer is around. Okay, enough of that. There's too many goods to look into at one point. Let's see the corporations that we're against. I don't think this includes the software companies just yet. So we've got the bakeries run by Istar here. The Zunist Church is run by Candice DeBebe. The Win Lobby itself has Pepperoni, and they're considerably better at what they do than Nick Brick ever was. Wow, you're a retailing god. Good with services as well. The Medibay Heat is run by, what was his name again? Crazy Dave from Plants vs. Zombies. Yuan Shao is from House Televani. Speed Racist runs Joja. The Bullworth Invco has Howie at the helm. That looks like a Powerpuff Girl. It's Yoon Take, and they're running Shade Nuln Oil. No idea what that is there. The Cart Pushers is run by Forever Lona, who for some reason uses Lily Ritter's image there. Is that Marvin Branagh? It absolutely is. I think that's just before he turns into a zombie. And fittingly, he's part of the Old Men Mercenary Company. Oh god, he's back! So Nick Brick is still around. He seems to have learned a thing or two, especially about cheese. I might need him for my cheesy escapades. And he runs the Gunolf's Banner Inc. Petan is run by Sato from Working. Cerberus is run by the Great White Bull of Dominions. That's the Gias. It's run by Lipips. Oh god, that's Gypsymoth, isn't it? Yeah, Gypsymoth is in charge of Baron's oil conglomerate. I was watching Baron's attempts at Greekonomics earlier. Made me feel a whole lot better about myself. What kind of man gives Tents Plaza? Especially when you're running that kind of deficit. Goose is in charge of the Ravens here. Pinkie Pie is a communist. Oh no. Nugget is in charge of the Brazilians. Natsuki, that's Natsuki, right? Yeah, she used to be a venture capitalist, now she's in charge of the Fix-It Inc. Doom Guy is the Shekel Master. Good for him. And is that Neptune? Yeah, it is, my god, Neptune. He's in charge of Dali State. And, oh, this is quite fitting, actually. That is Carter, Giant Nerd Carter from Resident Evil. He's in charge of Special Tactics and Rescue Service. What are they actually up to? They're up to everything. So Fix-It's into stocks, Cerberus is into stocks. That means it might be possible to buy out both of those if their stock choices go particularly downhill, but I think it's kind of hard to lose on stocks. I'm more interested in insurance, so I'll try and take over Petan at some point. Petan, Surapetan. So, there's a lot of people into everything, isn't there? House Televani is also into stock there. Banking. I want to keep my eye on banking if that ever crashes. Give an opportunity to buy those out. More on insurance, so Pepperoni. If the insurance ever really flounders, I might want to get my hands on that big time. Some more companies will pop up when the software companies start pulling their weight, so we should keep an eye on that. I bought myself out so I don't need to worry about other people buying my stock at really cheap prices. That's a pretty expensive paint from Games Workshop for Warhammer miniatures. Can we produce trucks? Can we produce trucks? I think we can. Manufacturers Guild for automobiles. We have vans, trucks, tractors, smart cars, scooters, motorcycles, luxury cars, moto helmets, cars, campers, cabrio cars, and buses. But wait, we can also have city buses. We can have auto cabrios and Porsches? Porsches cabrio? I don't know my cars. The car can be a compact, a station wagon, a hybrid. The moto helmet can be modular or motocross. The luxury cars can be cabrio, Porsches, Lamborghini, Ferrari. The motorcycles can be Honda, Suzuki, motocross. Claims the Harley Davidson is the top one there. Didn't we see Harley Davidson with global stocks? A Vespa or a modern scooter. Smart cars, red smart car, girly smart car. Full operational smart car. Tractors with the Earthmove tractor variant. Non-available truck? What? Tank truck, refrigerated truck, tow truck, cement mixer, and then the van, the high-capacity van, the pickup, and the people transporter van. You might be wondering what all these subsets are. So the automobile is the product class. These are the individual product types, and then you get the product customization types. Now, if you made these, let's say you made all 4 of these kinds of motorcycles, they would all be competing for the same demand for motorcycles. The people that want Hondas also want the Harley Davidsons. So if somebody's buying a Harley Davidson, they're not buying your Honda. What that means is that you can produce lower tech alternatives, because there are people that are mindful about the price and people who are mindful about the quality. So if you make a bunch of low quality crap Hondas and some high quality expensive Harley Davidsons, you can consume the market share of people that want expensive goods by having high quality goods with the Harley Davidsons, and the cheap crap Hondas for the people that for whatever reason won't buy this. That allows you to take over more of the market share. Of course, it also means they're competing against each other, so you probably only want to do that when you're really trying to squeeze out market share. Are there new kinds of retail stores? There absolutely are. We have... jings. I think everything new is on the right. Hotels are new, nautical, business, bar, flower shop, building materials, bakeries, bookshops, fast foods, pizzerias, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Plenty of different kinds of shops. I already regret not looking into the building types information on this game to see which ones have different effects. I'm really going to burn for that. Maybe I could bring it up quickly. It usually correlates with price and size. I guess I can just go with that. That's a lot of content, says Acro. It is. Remains to be seen if it's a positive effect in the game, but we'll play around with it for a bit. Because it's not really adding anything mechanically as far as I can tell. One thing it does add, though, is the Mega Factory. Produces a whole lot more than even the standard large factory. R&D is unchanged, farms are unchanged, although there's a lot more goods to farm. Yeah, if you look into the farmer's guide, almonds, apricots, apples, artichokes, carrots, cherries, kiwis, soy, spinach, zucchinis. There's a whole lot of raw goods, which probably means there'll always be a demand for me to fill somewhere, so I better keep that in mind. But like I said, there are too many things for me to take all of them on in this campaign. I mean, I could, but I won't. So I'll be leaving it to chat to decide what we move on to once we sufficiently enter into an existing market. You should fill out everything from the building materials store first. You should fill out everything from the materials building store? I don't know what you mean there. Maybe it's a joke or maybe it's serious advice, but it's lost on me. Okay, have we been over enough to get started with it? I'm going to assume so. Geez, some people put some time into this. It's actually a pretty mod-friendly game. I do like that. Right, first thing I'm going to look at the seaports and see what's available. There are only 2 seaports, one with consumer goods. This one brings in canned peas, canned beans, diapers, and oranges. None of those seem like they're going to be particularly good for my markup. The quality of these diapers is pretty high. Oh, well, that's mostly down to the pricing. You compare it against City overall quality, I could easily resell some of these, but I don't like fiddling around with imported goods, because eventually you're going to chuck them out and want to do your own ones, so then you're going to have to care about your own stores. So it was one of the retail stores you were looking at. Fill out everything from the building materials store first. Why would you recommend the building materials store here? Building materials? That must be its own subset here. Building materials, asphalt, electric cable, cement, nails, decorative gypsum, faucets. That's a lot of stuff that we can cram into one store. Is the song loud or is it just me? It's possibly both. I will knock the volume down of the music overall though. If you check the products tab, the first graph shows the total market for a product as a way of figuring out where the real money is. Check the products. The first tab. The first tab. The first graph shows the total market for a product. That's a way of... I'm not really sure it shows me anything here. Unless you mean this part is showing it, so you'd be saying like desktop computers is where it's at. Anyway, I want to look and see what we can easily produce off of the Seaport here. We've got access to oil, plastic, electric components, DVDs, CPUs, and steel. These are things that I can just immediately get from the Seaport without having to worry about producing my own. Okay. Well, I want to straight away do something that this mod offers rather than something we saw in vanilla. Since oil is available, I can actually use a new store and a new good. There is somewhere here a gas station. It's got a nice small footprint, so I don't need to pay through the nose for the rights to build one. So. I will... Well, I won't want to build that just yet. I need to actually produce something with that oil. I want to be near the seaport to minimize my transport times, but at the same time, I don't think I can just easily build everywhere, and plus this land is probably quite expensive. Oh well, what are you going to do? DVDs in 1990, immersion ruined. They're probably just CD... Did we even have CDs in 1990? We Scots are a bit slow to cotton on to technology, so hard to say. Right, factory. I don't actually know what the good factory size is for producing this stuff. There's no good information on throughput here, sadly. But I doubt I need a mega factory this early. Or do I? No, I mean, it costs one big fat million. Maybe I should just build it anyway. It costs 13 million to put it over there. Maybe I should just locate it right here so it's very close to getting that oil. Yeah, can't be a bad thing. So this is the mega factory. They did really good at making this fit the style of the game itself, the vanilla game. So I am straight up going to set this thing to create, no, not asphalt, but what am I even looking for? It would be under G for gasoline. Gasoline products. Right, even this has 5 different things, which I think will all get sold in gas stations. But for now, well, one really nice thing is that fuel has an 80% necessity index, and diesel has 70%. No matter how bad the economy is, people still need to drive places. All of these are individual demands, so selling gasoline fuel won't interrupt motor lubricant or diesel fuel, or even biofuel demands. Diesel fuel seems like an easy one to go for. It says I'm missing supplies, but I know I can get it from the Seaport. So I shall set up the factory for gasoline, and we're going to link this purchase up with the Seaport here. Yep, good, good, good. So it says supplier, Seaport, and this is going to pump out that oil for me. No, not oil, gasoline fuel. Now, I want to immediately have a warehouse set up for that. Might as well do a large warehouse. Ooh, might be a little tricky finding space for you. Can I get you over here? Ah, the land is expensive. Gotta remember, if I don't have my gas station, I can't really do much with it. Set up my... I'm gonna feel silly for having it all set up over here, but I want it close to there to minimize the distance that it has to travel. Maybe I could put it over here. That's a little bit more out of the way, wouldn't you say? Yeah, there we go. I think I need to pass a little bit of time no matter how I do it, so let's go. Let's wait until this actually has some oil made. So it should be purchasing in the oil. It's already brought in a bunch of barrels. It's now manufacturing the oil, and there we go. Now it's got the gasoline fuel coming out. I want that gasoline fuel to go straight into my warehouse, so that is input, storage, output. Link them all up, and that's going to be taking in my own gasoline fuel, and then it'll be coming out. Now, something I wished I did in my previous run, but I will be doing now. There might be other clients that buy up my gasoline fuel, and I want to kind of trick them in at low prices and then jack up the cost so that this mega factory ends up making good profit off of them. So for now, let's try and keep an eye on if anybody buys up this fuel of ours. I might set the price to be a little bit higher. There we go. People would have to be desperate to get their hands on that. And this place is going to take it in, and you will be on internal sale for this this warehouse. I forget if I have oh yeah, let's turn off internal sale for that. I think an internal sale is enabled by default, which is good. It should be. I'd hate for something to accidentally be sold to my competitors when I don't want it to. So there we go. We've got the gasoline fuel in here. It is on internal sale, and I am going to internally sell this to myself for very, very little. Pretty much cost. What is the cost of this stuff? I don't know. It can't be that much, right? We'll bring it down to a couple of dollary dues. I don't actually know how much it costs to make this stuff. Apparently, the cost and freight of my gasoline is only 42 cents, and I'm selling it for 40. So that means anybody that buys it from my factory has to pay me that much, but my warehouse is taking it in at that cost but putting it out at $2 internally. So that means when I set up my gas store, and I really hope I can afford putting this thing down. Right, where's it? Gas station. Should be petrol station. What are you going to do? Let's try and put it in the busiest spot in town. As we can tell from the minimap, this is where the big expense is. Ooh, 75 customer traffic index right here. You'd be hard pressed to do better than that. 78? Oh, I guess we can do better than that. Oddly enough, a cheaper place to set up as well. 75 there. Yeah, 78. That looks good. That looks real good. So, what are you going to be doing here? We're going to do purchasing, of course, and sales and sales. Put them together, and of course you're going to link up with my warehouse's gasoline fuel. I shouldn't have it on warehouse only, I always forget when that's on. But let's take it from the silver surplus warehouse. So what this means is that it's being bought in at cost and then sold at whatever. It's going to give me a much better overview of the profit of my gas station. I can adjust that accordingly. What I should, well, I'm going to wait until somebody comes in first. Why not set the output price for your warehouse to be the same as the input price? Okay, so let's say we didn't have a warehouse whatsoever, and I was just selling my gas from my factory to myself and anybody else. Anybody else that buys that fuel has to meet the same cost that I am putting it out on. So if they have a fuel station and I have a fuel station, we both have to sell the fuel at the same price. I choose the price and they will follow. Whereas this way, they're going to have to spend a certain amount for the fuel, so they're probably going to want to mark up on top of that. That gives me the freedom to undercut them and steal any market share that they take away. And they're still buying the fuel off of me at outrageous prices, so I can make them buy the fuel from me, sell it to the customers at a loss, and I'm the one picking up the slack there. At least that's my understanding. We'll see how much that falls through in practice. So, I want this gas station to actually get some gas. Not much of a gas station without it. There we go. So it's in. It is better than the city's overall quality of it, so I can actually increase the price even more. Just have it a little smidge above the city's quality. You want to be better than this or else no one's going to buy your crap. Now, if we look at this, people care about what? People care mostly about the price, a little bit about the quality, and almost nothing for the brand. So it's a waste of money to advertise gasoline fuel unless you're really trying to get any edge you can on market share. But the question is, what dictates the quality of this stuff? It is more from tech than the raw materials quality. I didn't take a good look at the quality of that oil. It is very, very crappy at 52. I will look at the map and try to find some better source for my oil. 75 is better, still not as good as we can get. Oh god, 50 is awful. Okay, on the plus side, other people won't be able to get better quality because there aren't other cities to go and get oil from. So I want to... No, where'd it go now? Here we go. I want to get that oil. Unfortunately, the cost of that land is $300 million. I own $9 million. Not going to happen. But if I can get on that one, it means if somebody else tries to take the other oil, they will have an inferior gasoline product. It also means that if all the natural deposits are taken up, it's going to be a bit of a fight to get them, because the resources do not run out. I've set it so that once the resource on a place runs out, it can continue to be mined out for an increased cost. I didn't want all the micros shifting out RGOs. Seemed like a pain. Okay, so I would love to get straight on it and start producing other kinds of gas, but unfortunately I just went and spent all my money. If I can get a big fat loan from the bank, I'll probably go on to the other kinds of gas, although I doubt there's as much demand for diesel as there is for gasoline. So, without much else to do, we're going to unpause and see how it goes. Get those sales out there. No, we're not. Hold that thought. There's something far more important we can do. Since we know that the tech is important for gasoline, we should go and get ourselves an R&D center immediately. Maybe I should just start thinking about where I'm going to set up in general. This is a nice long strip of land around here. Maybe a bit too long and strippy. Regardless, here's my R&D center. Let's see if we can... Do I have my user-defined... Oh god, I've made a mistake. I didn't import my user-defined things here. Well, not to worry. I can make them and save them. So this is a product R&D. Before I do anything, I should make sure that there's plenty of gasoline product people available. There are loads of them. Excellent. In that case, I don't really have the money to do this, actually. I need money. Will the bank give me money? Because I'm pretty desperate right now. Financial actions. There are no banks at the moment. Could I issue a bond? I could get a $40 million bond. I'd pay $2 million a year. Probably worth it. That's not It's not an interesting amount of money to care about, so let's just issue our bond. I could do it for shorter and pay less. I'm pretty sure we'll be pretty solvent in 3 years. Yeah, just get me that 40 mil, I need it. Right. The sooner I get this going, the more competitive I'm going to be on fuel. I want to not give anybody the time of day to get in on my fuel market. So I want to dominate the techs. So, over you go, and let's fill you up with all of the best mines when it comes to gasoline products. That doesn't seem like all of the best. I want all of them. There we go. And we're going to tell them to start R&D on gasoline products. And I want you to... Wow, you can really surge ahead in 2 years. But the jump we can get in 1 year is really good anyway. I'm just going to do it for 1 year so I can very quickly raise my prices and make sure that nobody gets a quick leapfrog against me. Right. This isn't monopolistic just yet. There are 2 sources of oil on the map, and I doubt I'll be taking both. If I did get both, I bet the map would spawn more of it. I'm a bit miffed about how the game does that, but what you gonna do? Okay, now something that's going to be very interesting to track is the supply and demand for my product. It's very important that I make sure that my overall rating is superior to that of the city's rating. You know, with that influx of cash, I am really tempted to just get on diesel as well. But these factories aren't free. Let's wait until the money starts rolling in at least a wee bit. So, demand is going up. Takes a wee bit for demand to get there. I'm hopefully going to get to the point where there is more demand than supply, and then I can just start pumping out even more fuel bits here. As we can see, we've only got a tiny fraction of the demand right now. We should check and make sure if anybody else is trying to get in on this. Looks like the Silver Surplus is the only person getting on that, as well it should be. So we can enjoy watching pie charts for a bit, and then once we start making moves here, we'll do a quick rundown on what all of the companies are doing. Oh, we just saw some popping up. 2 supermarkets. 2 competing supermarkets next to each other, both selling oranges and diapers. They're probably going to make each other face a loss, and that's all the better for me, because, hey, they're not going to compete with... Wait, supermarkets can't sell fuel, right? Where's Supermarché? Can't sell gasoline products, that's what I like to see. This truly is real world. Yeah, since we're all jam-packed into one city, space is actually going to be a big problem. Honestly, I'd like to just buy out lots of space for myself, but that might be... well, it's definitely going to be too much money. Okay, I'm already thinking I want more... somebody was saying about the overall demand thing on the products tab. Well, if I wanted to look at gasoline products, I guess this shows the amount of money that, or the amount of revenue made on it, and compared to how much of the market share that you're hitting there. So you can use that to extrapolate the overall demand. All of this stuff is in a spreadsheet, which if I'd been thinking, I would have had available for me right now. Now we need 10 mattress stores next to each other. God, the strip mall feeling. Alright, I really like the fact that demand is going up. They're all seeing how incredibly good my gas is. Gas, gas, gas. And again, we don't have other clients buying this up. It's all just going into our warehouse. And look at that, this mega factory is producing plenty. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. I do want to get in the oil. I want to source my own oil with my money, but that is a huge amount of money to dump on that. Might be better just to go with seaports for a while. Okay, the demand is going really high. If it exceeds supply, that gives me an interesting choice. Do I want to increase the price or flood the market? The answer is flood. It's nice to make a good return on things, but we already make a good return. This isn't like going from a $1 good costing from $1.50 to $5, right? This isn't going to suddenly make me money if I charge $500 for it. But this is going way up, and my profits are already on the up. That's good. Certainly good for the stock price. I'm wondering actually already, is anybody floundering on the stock market and worth buying out? I should keep an eye on anybody that I think is going to do really well and buy up stock mega early, especially if they're initially dipping. Tempted to do that already, but let's make a call on this thing first. I did take out a bond for this. Okay, we can tell straight away that this is only a fraction of the overall market for people that need gas. So I'm actually going to purchase, link, sell, and of course let's have this all linked up from my warehouse. Very important to do it from warehouse. Well, it's not very important, but it's important to me, so that way I know how profitable this firm is being. Otherwise I'd just be learning how profitable, say, my factory is, because I would be buying it at factory's charge price, and I don't like the idea of that. So that should crush demand for a bit, and free me up a bit to look at our competition. So that gives us a lovely head start in that. Hopefully, yeah, our stock price is already mooning, so to speak. But what about the others? What are they into? Is anybody facing an immediate profit? Joja is. Nolan Oil is. They're probably getting in on... Yeah, didn't we see them? Didn't they set up here? That's Nolan Oil, already getting profits off of oranges and diapers. What a way to work. Oh, well, look at Nick Brick. With everything he's learned from banking, he's immediately doing decent turnover for the GB company. Gunolf's banner. Oh yeah, maybe I should be getting saving, shouldn't I? So, we'll call it the RWLP, RealWorld Longplay. Alright, you know, I turned to chat on this. I'm going to have this be a relatively chat-driven one. You're going to decide some of the decisions. Stock. Stock and products. Who should we be buying into right now? I think we have the money to buy in stock in quite a few different places. So, who do you think's the one to go for? Buy high, sell higher. Buying high is not a problem if you sell higher. You know, maybe this isn't enough information to go on. Perhaps what we should be looking at is what they are producing. There's a place for that, isn't there? Products, right? Bird cages and canned peas from the bakeries. Some of them don't do products, which is fair. All those bird cages, where are they getting them from? Doesn't look like anybody's actually producing their own stuff yet. Air conditioner? Where the hell are you getting air conditioners? I must know more. The producer is made from Gias. Okay, so Gias has actually set themselves up a factory for producing air conditioners. They must have sniffed a gap in the market there. Alright, so we have some expert advice coming in from chat. Let's just go with it. Let's not worry about it. Local stock market, and we're being told to invest in Brazil. Oh man, there's not the images here, is there? I think Brazil is called Kurashev's something. Yeah, there we go, Kurashev's. So if we go over here, we'll see how Kurashev is doing. Kurashev is dipping a bit, so we're going to buy 5% of their company. That's actually raising the price there. And who else are we going to buy into? Just 5% will do for now, because as I buy more, the stock price spikes up. Oh, we've got the extra companies coming in. The Big Blue Blob is being run by LinkArc. Looks more like ISIS to me. Chosrau is part of Kislev, and they're on the internet. Ming is led by the Stronghold's own Wolf. Urangu McBain runs Andromeda. God knows what they're going to be doing on the nebulous internet. Randy's Random Goods is run by Meridian, who's taken the form of one of the marigolds from Plants vs. Zombies. Keeper Holdings from Valentinas. Zabalbaj running the Rat Merchants. And what do we have? Professor Layton of Krista is into software. The Blurple Busters run by Tsar Nicholas. And then Brelix here. What's Brelix doing? He's into software again. The OS companies. Oh man. There's only one OS company. I think I'm going to... I have to get in on that. Being the only operating system means big dosh. Who are you again? You're the Chartered West India Company. GWC doesn't make that easy for me to remember, but let's get in on it. Where are you, GWC? Oh crap, they're private, aren't they? Yeah, they're a private corporation. I can't buy into their stock. That's a bit of a bummer for me. Okay. We have some advice from chat saying to get in on the gears. Alright, let's buy up some gears. This stuff will probably go relatively to the moon. I don't really want to buy into Nikki here. I can't say no to buying into old men. Cerberus, cart pushers, so many tempting people to get in on. I've enjoyed watching Heldon play Mass Effect, so let's buy into Cerberus. There's no stopping Jimmy Hopkins, let's get into Bullworthing. I'm buying just loads of stock here, why not? Hopefully they do well on that. I'm pretty sure if you pay very close attention to how things perform in the game, you could make some expert choices on where to buy your stock. Something like tech company is about to, or someone is about to sell tech that they got for big money. That would be a good reason to buy into them early. Now, I really think this might not be enough to fuel the city's gas needs. It is Grimsby after all. Gotta turn that lush green ground grey somehow. Was that me leading the operating system company, says C-Space. The OS company is the Chartered West Indian Company, and I think you'll find that's you, C-Space. Tell us about your revolutionary new operating system in the year 1990. To be fair, that's your only expertise, so you might as well do what you're good at. You've got your own computer store set up. You're already selling desktop computers. You are making the desktop computers that you're selling. Man, I really wish I could buy into your company. You are going to go far with that. Okay. Nice to see our own profits looking good. It would be nice if they looked better, though. When we get that tech up, our quality will be a lot better and we'll be able to push up prices quite a lot more. I forget, was it tech or raw quality that was better? Either way, I'm torn about getting access to my own oil or just expanding the market more. Maybe I should be expanding the market more. Because I could make another... With the money I have right now, I could already start thinking about getting other gasoline products, especially if it only requires oil. Diesel fuel would be easy enough to do. There's no access to chemical minerals just yet, but motor lubricant might not be a bad idea. Yeah, diesel fuel is talking to me here, but I doubt there's as much demand for that. Let's make a medium factory. Can make it over here, no problem. And you are going to make that diesel fuel. Yeah, makes sense to me. And we need to make sure that you get in... We'll slow down game, you're making sure you're getting it from the Seaport. Good. So once you've made a bit of that, I'll also sell this in my store. Alright, there we go. Now, this stuff doesn't have to be internally sold. You can sell it to anyone, just make sure you charge a lot of money for it. And the warehouse will again be taking input, storage, and output. And I'm not going to advertise. Advertising is fantastic. It's a great way to just invest money in order to charge more money for a product with no greater considerations. But if a good's quality is not determined by the advertising quality, then don't bother. And to be honest, when you live your day-to-day life, do you care about the advertising behind your petrol? Because I never did. I just found the cheapest place that I could get to and went there. Anybody got some good petrol-related real-life stories? I was out on my motorbike one day and I ran out of fuel. Very rare. Normally a motorbike has a little switch at the side, so if you run out of fuel, you flip it up, and then that uses the remaining fuel. That's kind of like your own internal reminder to hurry up and get some more. But I already had it up, unbeknownst to me, and I ran out of fuel. I was in the boonies here, but I was right outside some lovely couple's house, and they said, "Oh, hi, don't worry, I got some for you. Just brought out a jerry can, gave me a wee top up, patted me on the back, and away I went." A lot of good feelings behind that one. Right, so diesel fuel's coming into our warehouse now, and it can come out. And once again, let's make sure that it's outputting pretty much at cost. And I doubt the cost is more than $2, so there we go. And then you might say, "Oh, Jake, the gas station is already full." Yep, it is. That's why we're going to add another floor to it. And here we're going to purchase in, and again, double sales. 2-to-1 is a good ratio on these. And let's make sure we get our warehouses diesel fuel. And let's keep a decent eye on how the demand is for that, because I don't know the difference between demand of those two. Again, if I had my spreadsheet handy, I could use that, but I don't. Did you ever consider the quality of your